This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Monday means it's Modern Monday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and we have a super sweet, kind of hybrid deck to look at today. This is a deck I'm calling Green-Black Ponza-Cloud, friends, combining together a lot of stuff that's really sweet for us, planeswalkers, land destructions, Death Cloud of course, and probably going to make our opponent pretty miserable. So this one comes to us from Brian Du Bois, who took it to a top 8 finish at a PPTQ with 71 players, I believe, in Oklahoma. So congrats to Brian on a super sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break down Ponza-Cloud, friends, for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Ponza-Cloud, friends, starts off with some ramp. This is a very important part of our deck. Our deck has a lot of expensive cards in it, and we want to get to those cards a little bit faster than normal. So we start with Utopia Sprawl in Arbor Elf, which, as we've talked about many times before, is just the fastest ramp package in the Modern format. If you can play an Arbor Elf on turn 1, play Utopia Sprawl on turn 2, by tapping and untapping the land that is Utopia Sprawl, you get 4 extra mana immediately on turn 2, which lets you start casting some really big, really powerful things right away. Even by themselves, either of these are fine. They get us from 1 mana up to 3 mana on turn 2, but basically, they just ramp us into our big stuff really quickly. Then we have the start of our land destruction, or the Ponza part of our deck. So this part is a little bit strange. Rain of Tears and Muwani Acid Moss just keep our opponent's resources in check. Thanks to Utopian Sprawl and Arbor Elf, there's a pretty reasonable chance that we can cast one of these cards on turn 2, which means if we are on the play, we just blow up our opponent's only land, put them back to 0 resources. On the draw, still putting our opponent down to 1 land is fine. And then Acid Moss in specific is amazing in the deck because not only does it blow up one of our opponent's lands, but it lets us tutor out a land, which is really key because our deck is overwhelmingly expensive. The next part of our deck is Planeswalkers, the friends part of our deck. So the Planeswalkers do a couple of different things. First off, they're just really good threats. Garruk Wildspeaker, I'm going to talk about this one first because it works with our ramp plan. We're trying to get a lot of mana really quickly, and if we can do something like turn 1 Arbor Elf, turn 2 Utopia Sprawl, also with tapping and untapping play Garruk, we just accelerate out of the gate and have so much mana so fast that we can start casting really big things really quickly. And then Garruk Wildspeaker also can just make some beast tokens, maybe win the game with the overrun, although we don't have that many creatures to overrun up. Mostly Garruk is a support planeswalker that is getting us to some of our bigger, more expensive planeswalkers. Next on the planeswalker list, we have Liliana the Veil, Obnixilis Reignited. So these cards are a little bit different, but united in the fact that they can both deal with a creature. Liliana can come down, attack our opponent's hand if they're playing control or combo, attack their board if our opponent's playing a creature deck. Obnixilis gives us a steady stream of card advantage, finding more ramp spells, more land destruction spells, more planeswalkers, can also kill creatures and has a game-winning ultimate. Then we have our top-end planeswalkers, Vraska the Unseen, and 1 Garruk Apex Predator. So Vraska Unseen just blows up any non-land permanent, so similar to Obnixilis and Liliana, it can get rid of a creature, but it can also get rid of like an opposing planeswalker, an artifact, an enchantment. Ticking it up isn't that exciting, doesn't really do that much, although if we ultimate, the assassin tokens can take down the win. And then Garruk Apex Predator is a lot of mana, but it does a lot for its mana cost, blowing up creatures or planeswalkers, making Death Touch beasts, and then the emblem pretty much closes out the game as well. So step 1, ramp, 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 ramp. Step 2, play lots of planeswalkers. planeswalkers, also destroying lands along the way. So we've talked about Ponza, we've talked about friends. The last piece of the puzzle is Death Cloud. So this is the cloud part of the deck, and Death Cloud is an absurdly powerful card in a deck that plays a lot of planeswalkers and makes a lot of mana. So the idea here is we break the symmetry of Death Cloud, which if you're not familiar with it, you cast it for X plus 3 mana, so you need like 5, 6, 7 mana at least to really make it do anything, the more the better, and each player loses X life, discards X cards, sacrifices X creatures and X lands, so the end result is if we make a lot of mana, we basically just wipe out everything. No one has any lands, no one has any creatures, no one has any cards in hand, and also loses some life. The idea though is we break the symmetry by having all these planeswalkers. When we cast a massive Death Cloud, sure, maybe we lose our Arbor Elf, we lose our lands, we lose our hand, but we're hopefully going to have Garruks and Lilianas and Obnixiluses on the battlefield. So if we can cast this and wipe everything out while we have a planeswalker or two left over, pretty much guaranteed to actually just win us the game, because by the time our opponent draws out of having no hand and no lands, our planeswalker is going to ultimate and take home the victory. Otherwise, we get a bunch of removal, Fatal Push, Abrupt Decay, Maelstrom Pulse, Battle at the Bridge, all pretty straightforward just for dealing with our opponent's stuff. The most interesting of the bunch is Battle at the Bridge, which also gives us a way to gain a bunch of life. We don't really have many artifacts or any artifacts in the main deck for improvising, but if we get up to like 5, 6 mana, we gain a few life, kill something, so kind of an interesting option for a deck that makes a lot of mana. Damnation, just to sweep away all the creatures. In the mana base, pretty simple. Verdant Catacombs, Overgrown Tomb, Blooming Marsh is dual lands. Urborg is basically a dual land as well. Some basic lands. In the sideboard, we get a ton more removal options. More Abrupt Decays. Golgari Charm does a bit of everything. For artifacts and enchantments, we have Creeping Corrosion and Nature's Claim. Nile Spellbomb to deal with graveyards. Kitchen Finks, really helpful against aggro. Just blocking a couple times kind of survives our Death Cloud as well, thanks to Persist. Gains us life against burn. Bow of Nylea. Never really seen anyone play this in Modern, but it does a lot of interesting things. It can reset our Kitchen Finks by putting a counter on it, can kill small flyers, I guess, gain us life against aggro, shovel stuff back in. I assume that we're mostly using it as a life gain plus reset Kitchen Finks idea, but still kind of a cool catch-all option in the sideboard. And that is green-black Ponza-Cloud Friends for Modern. And that's better instant deck tech for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.